Hello all you rad people and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the top 5 upgrades you should get for your entry-level bike. First off, I think the most important thing you can do is get a new fork. Chances are your bike came with a really cheap Suntour fork that has a coil spring inside that is completely non-adjustable for however you ride. So the best thing you can do is to pick up a new fork, whether that's going on pink bike classifieds, buying a new one, but just getting yourself a nice air fork is going to make all the world of difference to your ride. There are coil forks out there that are on the higher end of things that are really nice, and they do provide some small bump sensitivity, but for most entry-level riders, I would say going with a RockShox Recon RL fork, which is like right here, is going to be a really good option to start off with, and that's not really going to break the bank. Now keep in mind, you can go on the pink bike classifieds or even eBay and pick up a used fork for not a lot of money. I spent maybe $250 on my used Fox 34 factory fork. That's a $1,000 fork. So being able to pick up maybe even a couple year old, like I think the one I picked up was about 2 to 3 years old, you can save a lot of money and get yourself something really nice. Next up, I'd say that the best thing you can do is to pick up a new set of tires. Chances are the tires that came on your bike are not very good, or they're very cross-country. And if you're just pedaling around the neighborhood or your local parks, then that's probably going to be fine. But going with a tire that's more designed for what you want to ride is going to be huge. So if you're going with some more gnarly terrain and you want to go as fast as you can down the mountain, then maybe going with a mini DHR, DHF combo or something along those lines, a more aggressive tire, trail tire, would be a good idea. Now, if you're just going to be doing some cross-country stuff, upgrading to a new cross-country tire could be a really big benefit, because chances are the tire is going to be a lot less in weight. And when you're doing cross-country, weight matters. Not to sound like a weight weenie or counting grams or anything like that, but a lighter tire is easier to pedal around than a heavy one. So picking up a new Maxxis Schwalbe Terravel, picking up a new tire is going to be really beneficial for you. Next up, get some new grips or a new saddle. Something that's going to make your comfort a little bit better. The contact points are probably one of the more important things that you can do on a bike. If your seat's not wide enough for your butt or your sit bones, then maybe going with a more comfortable saddle might be a good idea. Same thing with grips. Swapping out to some nicer grips, or even just a color match. If you like a certain color and you want those colors, and you go with that. But going with a grip that's a little bit more comfortable is a really good idea. Next up, you might want to think about upgrading your drivetrain, upgrading it to a 1x12 system if it didn't come with one, or you don't necessarily need to upgrade from a 1x11 to a 1x12. Going with a more wide range cassette in the rear is going to be really beneficial for you, and it's going to make things a lot easier. Having 52s in the back is a major advantage a lot of the time, especially if you're not used to climbing. You don't even necessarily have to go 1x12. The box component setup is a 9-speed, 10-speed, I think. I can't recall, maybe an 8-speed. And it's still a 10 to 50, but you just have big jumps in between. And that might be a good option as well if you're on a budget. But you can even pick up a SRAM NX group set for not a lot of money. Probably one of the more expensive upgrades, but is going to be very beneficial to you, especially if you have a standard that is cross-compatible with other bikes, is picking up a new wheel set. Picking up some new rims and a new hubs that have more engagement is really going to be nice. Not only are they going to weigh less, but the engagement in them is going to be a lot more, allowing you to just kind of like fine-tune your pedal stroke a little bit when you're trying to get through some technical terrain. The weight savings is huge if you're coming from entry-level rims. You're talking about over a pound difference in wheel sets here, and you can save even more by going with a lighter tire. So that's definitely something to take a look at. You can pick up some from Stan's. You can pick up some in Industry 9, which are the nicer ones. Those are probably the top of the line as far as the hubs go. But for me, I ordered mine from speedgearbike.com. Go hit up Wayne. He'll take care of you. Not sponsored or anything like that. He probably doesn't even know I'm doing this, but I've bought multiple rims from him. My friends have bought multiple rims from him. He's been a pleasure to deal with. Well, that's just my opinion of what I think you guys should do for entry-level upgrades to your bike. A lot of people will probably agree with it. Some people may disagree with that order, but you know, it's not even in any particular order, but just upgrading your bike to certain spots is going to be beneficial for you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. If you guys think there was something I missed, also mention it. Don't forget to hit like on this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. There's new content twice a week.